You are a long hauler. Your ship is the Stardust Drifter. This name is perhaps a little too romantic. The ship itself is a glorified metal box. It carries important things from one place to another. Right now, that important thing is refined xenon gas, a full load for the growing colony on Triton. The work is not exciting, but the pay keeps you fed. And the solitude, the immense, silent solitude, is the real prize. Out here, there are no crowds, no pointless meetings, no noise. The only sound is the steady hum of the fusion core. It is the deep, reassuring heartbeat of your mobile home. For 27 days, the view has not changed. You are flying through the Starfall fields, a region of space known for being spectacularly empty. The name sounds interesting on a star chart. The reality is just more blackness, sprinkled with the same cold, distant stars. You sip your nutrient paste from a tube. The label promises a savory chicken flavor. It tastes more like warm, liquid boredom. You make a mental note to file a complaint. It would be your third one this month. Maybe they would get the hint and send a batch that tastes like vague disappointment instead. Your console is a sea of calming green lights. Life support, green. Engine performance, green. Navigation, green. All systems are nominal. Everything is proceeding exactly as planned. It is another perfect, profoundly dull day in the vast, uncaring emptiness of space. This is exactly how you like it. The quiet lets you think. It lets you forget. It is a peace that cannot be found on any populated world. Then, a new light appears on your main display. The light is not a friendly green. It is a sharp, insistent, angry red. Your long-range passive scanner has flagged an object. That alone is not strange. Space is full of junk. Stray asteroids, lost comets, the occasional forgotten satellite from a bygone era. But your ship's computer, a sturdy, reliable unit you have nicknamed Shoddy, tags this one differently. The tag reads, unidentified, geometric, stationary. That last word sends a ripple of unease through you. Stationary. Nothing in deep space is truly stationary. Every object is caught in a slow, cosmic dance, pulled by the gravity of suns and worlds and dark matter. Everything moves. To be still, truly still, you would have to be pushing back against everything. Or you would have to be so massive that you dictate the dance. The object is 1,000,000 kilometers away, yet it hangs in the void like a pin on a corkboard. It actively defies the most fundamental laws of star science. This has to be a glitch, a sensor ghost caused by a solar flare. Or maybe Shoddy has finally developed a sense of humor. You run a level 1 diagnostic on the scanner array. The results come back clean. You reboot the entire navigation and scanning suite. The system comes back online. The red icon is still there, unmoving, unblinking, mocking your disbelief. Shoddy displays the object's estimated dimensions. The numbers must be wrong. They are simply too large. The object is over 3,000 kilometers in diameter, too massive to be a ship, too perfectly shaped to be a natural phenomenon. The scanner attempts to create a visual rendering. The image that flickers onto the screen is wrong. It is a shape that seems to twist space around it. A three-dimensional object that hints at a fourth dimension. It feels like looking at an optical illusion, one that makes your brain ache. A cold dread begins to form in your gut. This is the feeling of being very small and very, very far from home. You check the company manual, the digital version, of course. There are thick chapters on engine fires, detailed protocols for pirate encounters. There are even instructions for dealing with exotic space fungi. There is absolutely nothing about finding an object that shouldn't exist. The red light on the console continues its slow, steady pulse. It feels less like an alert and more like a heartbeat. You stare at the impossible shape on your screen. The silence in your cockpit suddenly feels different. It is no longer peaceful. It is the silence of a held breath. The hum of the engine seems to have faded, drowned out by the sound of your own heart. You are completely alone out here, and you have just stumbled upon something that has been waiting in the dark for a very, very long time. Just as you ponder your next move, another alert chimes, a soft, gentle bell that is a stark contrast to the angry red light. This alert is from your communications suite. Shadi is picking up a signal. It is incredibly faint, a mere whisper buried beneath the hiss of cosmic background radiation. Your ship's computer is good at its job. It begins the slow process of isolating the signal, filtering out the static of the universe. The progress bar on your screen fills with agonizing slowness. You lean forward in your pilot's chair. Your knuckles are white where you grip the armrests. You find yourself holding your breath, not out of fear, but out of a profound, consuming curiosity. Finally, the signal is clean. Shadi patches it through to the cockpit speakers. You brace yourself for a screech of alien noise, or perhaps a voice speaking an unknown tongue. It is neither. The sound that fills the small cabin is a sequence of clear, distinct pulses, a rhythm of pure logic. The pulses mark out the prime numbers. 1, a pause. 2, a pause. 3, 5, 7, 11. The sequence continues, a perfect, unbroken chain of mathematical truth. It is the simplest and most profound greeting imaginable. A message designed to be understood by any intelligence, any mind capable of recognizing a pattern. This is not a random cosmic event. This is a beacon, a deliberate hello from the heart of the anomaly. The signal changes. It stops counting and begins to teach. It broadcasts the fundamentals of geometry, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, pi, transmitted to 32 decimal places. Then the Pythagorean theorem, outlined in a flawless sequence of logical steps. It is a language without words, a conversation held in the universal grammar of numbers. The beauty of it is stunning. The implications are terrifying. Whoever built this was not just intelligent. They were masters of the universe's underlying code. The signal continues its silent lecture. It moves past simple geometry and into advanced physics. Principles of space-time manipulation your species has only theorized. Formulas for energy creation that seem to violate known laws. You feel like a student sitting at the feet of a god. Shadi records every last pulse. Your ship's data core, built to hold shipping manifests and flight logs, is now storing the single greatest discovery in human history. It feels a bit like using a priceless vase as a doorstop. Who could have sent this? Are they still there? Or is this an automated message from a long-dead civilization? A ghost in the machine, endlessly repeating its lessons to an empty void. That thought sends a cold shiver down your spine. A nervous joke forms in your mind. At least you finally have a legitimate excuse for being late with the delivery. Sorry, I was busy downloading the secrets of the universe. That would probably not be in the company handbook either. Then, as abruptly as it began, the signal stops. The cockpit is plunged back into silence, but the silence is different now. It is heavy with meaning, full of unasked questions. The show is over. The mysterious teacher has left the stage, and now you are left alone. With the knowledge that humanity is not just not alone in the universe, It is a child in a classroom of unseen, unknowable masters. You sit there for a long time, the weight of the moment pressing down on you. Then, your training kicks in. You are a professional, a freighter pilot with a job to do, albeit a very, very different job than the one you started with. You carefully compile all the data, the scanner readings of the impossible object, the detailed analysis of its impossible stillness, and the full recording of the mathematical sermon. You package it all into a compressed data packet, encrypt it with top-level corporate and government ciphers. Then you aim your tight-beam comms array at the nearest relay station, and you send it. The journey for that signal is long, a river of light flowing through the dark. It will take hours to reach its destination, and more hours for a reply to find its way back to you. You are adrift in a bubble of time, a pocket of reality between the known and the unknown. You try to eat again. The nutrient paste tube is still in your hand. It still tastes like the ghost of a chicken that died of boredom. You float in your chair, staring at the unblinking red icon on your display. It has not moved. It has not made another sound. It just waits. Patient, silent, eternal. The reply from command arrives 13 hours later, far faster than you had anticipated. They must have redirected a high-priority military comms drone. The message is locked behind 7 layers of encryption. Shoddy takes a full 90 seconds to slice through them. Finally, the face of an admiral materializes on your main screen. He is an old man with a face carved from granite. His uniform is perfectly pressed. His eyes are the color of a winter storm. This is Admiral Jax Ironside, a man famous for 2 things: winning battles and never, ever smiling. He does not waste time with introductions or pleasantries. "Stardust Drifter," he says. His voice is a low rumble, like rocks grinding together. "We have received your data packet." He pauses, his gaze intense. Our top analysts are perplexed. They confirm your initial assessment. The object is artificial. Its energy readings are off the charts, and its origin is unknown. He almost sounds impressed. Which, for Admiral Ironside, is the emotional equivalent of a public parade. Your discovery has been classified Level Omega. The existence of this object is now the most important secret in human space. He lets that hang in the air for a moment, letting the weight of it settle on your shoulders. "There is a problem, pilot." Of course there is. There is always a problem. You are the only human asset within 6 months' travel of that anomaly. 6 months. In that time, this thing could vanish, or it could decide to visit. And you have a feeling it would not be asking for directions. Command has made a decision. The Admiral's voice drops even lower, becoming more serious than you thought possible. Your cargo mission is scrubbed. Your new orders are to make a slow, cautious approach. You will gather all available data. You will not, I repeat, not show any hostile intent. He looks you directly in the eye, a commander giving an order that cannot be disobeyed. You are to initiate first contact protocol. Variant 3. Your blood runs cold. You know the protocols. Every licensed pilot has to. Variant 1 is for microorganisms. Variant 2 is for non-sentient creatures. Variant 3 is for approaching a potentially superior and non-aggressive star-faring intelligence. It is a protocol of peace, of extreme caution. It is also the protocol with the highest casualty rate for the person initiating it. You remember reading your pilot's contract. You are pretty sure it did not mention becoming a sacrificial ambassador for all of humankind. There must have been some very, very fine print. The Admiral's stony face does not betray a hint of emotion. The fate of our species may rest on what happens next. Do not fail. It is not a threat. It is a simple statement of fact. Command out. His image dissolves into static, leaving you alone once more. In the suffocating quiet of your cockpit. Your mission profile has changed just a little. You are no longer a xenon gas delivery driver. You are an explorer, an ambassador, the tip of humanity's spear, pointed at the heart of an impossible mystery. No pressure at all. You take a long, slow breath, then another. Your hands move across the control panel, fingers dancing over buttons and screens they have touched 1,000 times. But this time is different. This time, you are not just piloting a ship. You are steering the course of history. You engage the main thrusters, not with the powerful roar of a full burn, but with a series of gentle, precise puffs of plasma. The Stardust Drifter, your trusty metal box, turns its nose away from the distant lights of Triton and toward the silent, waiting enigma. The journey is agonizingly slow. You keep your speed to a bare minimum, a crawl. The last thing you want to do is startle whatever lies inside that hazy field. For 2 days, you creep across the vast emptiness. The red icon on your navigation screen grows steadily larger. It is no longer a simple point of light. It resolves into a definite shape, a shimmering, indistinct sphere of energy. It is a soft, turbulent gray, like a storm cloud on the verge of breaking, or a pearl made of smoke. The edge of the field is now only a few thousand kilometers away. You run a final check of all systems. Everything is green. Shoddy reports no anomalies, except, of course, for the giant, physics-defying anomaly you are about to fly into. You make another joke to yourself. If you do not make it back, you wonder if you will get a refund for the undelivered xenon. Probably not. Your ship's nose cone touches the outer layer of the energy field, and the universe dissolves. The stars behind you, the familiar, steady points of light, are suddenly twisted out of shape. They stretch and smear across the viewport, becoming long, thin streaks of impossible color. It is like flying through a gallery of broken rainbows. The ship shudders. A deep, resonant groan echoes through the hull. It is the sound of metal under a stress it was never designed to bear. Your console lights up with a dozen new alerts. The very fabric of space-time is different in here. It is thicker somehow, heavier. The ship feels sluggish, as if you are plowing through invisible molasses instead of empty space. You feel a strange, mounting pressure inside your own head. It is accompanied by a low, subliminal hum, a vibration that seems to originate from the atoms of the air itself. It is not a sound you hear with your ears. It is a feeling you experience with your entire being, the feeling of immense, ancient, sleeping power. Shoddy is struggling. The navigation system is completely offline. Its internal chronometer is blinking nonsensically. Time itself is flowing at a different rate in here. You are flying blind, with no sense of direction, no sense of up or down. Your only guide is the faint, almost imperceptible glow in the center of the haze, a single point of lighter gray in the swirling chaos. You aim for that, trusting your gut, trusting the instincts that have kept you alive on a dozen unforgiving worlds. The hum intensifies. The pressure in your skull grows. The ship groans again, louder this time. You have to manually override the engine controls, diverting auxiliary power just to keep moving forward, to push against the unseen current that is trying to hold you back. Every fiber of your being screams at you to turn around, to flee this place of madness, to run back to the sane, predictable universe you know. But humanity did not conquer the stars by listening to its fears. You grip the controls tighter, your jaw set. You push onward, deeper into the storm, deeper into the heart of the great unknown. And then, as suddenly as it began, it is over. You burst through the gray mist like a swimmer breaking the surface of the water. The pressure vanishes. The disorienting hum fades into silence. You are floating in clear, calm space. You blink, your eyes adjusting to the new light. And the sight that greets you, it empties your mind of all thought, all fear, all words. Before you hangs a ring, an unbroken, impossible circle of metal and light. It is a world, a habitat constructed on a scale that beggars belief. It is so vast that it seems to curve away into infinity in both directions. Its inner surface faces a small, perfectly stable yellow star, a sun that it holds captive in its gravitational embrace. This is the source of the anomaly, the heart of the mystery. An artificial world built by beings who could command the cosmos itself. You have seen ring stations before. Small, human-built habitats in orbit around Earth or Mars. They are toys compared to this. This structure is not measured in kilometers. It is measured in astronomical units. It dwarfs planets. It makes stars look like decorations. Your tiny freighter, the Stardust Drifter, is less than a bacterium next to this monument. You feel an awe so profound, it is almost painful. You engage the thrusters and guide your ship on a slow flyby, following the gentle curve of the inner ring. The surface below is a tapestry of dark, iridescent metal, etched with geometric lines that pulse with a faint, dormant light. You see mountains, valleys, riverbeds, all of them sculpted, all of them artificial. This was not just a station. It was a world, designed with an artist's eye and an engineer's godlike power. But it is empty, utterly, profoundly empty. There are no cities lit up on the surface, no ships moving in the space around it, no radio chatter, no signs of any life at all. It is a paradise lost, a kingdom abandoned. You try to imagine the beings who built this place. The architects, you name them in your mind. What did they look like? What did they dream? And what terrible thing could have happened to make them leave all this behind? You scan for a place to set down. Your eyes are drawn to a series of massive structures along the ring's inner edge. They are clearly docking ports, sprawling complexes large enough to swallow entire fleets of capital ships. Every single one of them is dark, open, and deserted. A silent invitation. The sheer, staggering scale of it all is hard to process. Shadi tries to calculate the ring's total mass. The computer churns for a moment before giving up, displaying a simple error message: insufficient data. Insufficient comprehension. You pat the console gently. "I know how you feel, pal," you murmur. A joke falls flat in the silent cockpit. You realize you're going to need a much, much bigger camera. You feel a deep, aching sadness as you gaze upon the silent majesty of the ring. It is the feeling of walking through a magnificent museum long after it has closed. A testament to a genius that is gone from the universe. You are the first living thing to see this in. How long? Thousands of years? Millions? The thought is humbling. It makes you feel impossibly young and impossibly vulnerable. You are a child who has wandered into the empty palace of the giants, and the silence here is their epitaph.